What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unhinged Talk. As usual, I'm your host, Patrick Hensey, joined today by the man, Sean Petrucci. How we doing today, Sean?
Doing well. How you doing?
Can't complain, as usual. But listen, we have a fun topic to talk about today, and that's kind of what Miguel Andujar's future is with the Yankees, right? It's an interesting topic that you could kind of go either way with. But before we get into that, everyone be sure, you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. We're going live before and after every single Yankees game this season, so stay tuned for that content. But Miguel Andujar. So I guess we could kind of start by looking back at 2018, right? He came up with Gleyber Torres around the same time, right? And I would say he performed way beyond expectations. Almost won Rookie of the Year, was one of the Yankees' most consistent hitters in the lineup throughout the year, outperformed Gleyber. And going into 2019, we had such high expectations for him, right? After that season, there were so many trade offers for him. Every team in baseball wanted Miguel Andujar. The Yankees didn't pull the trigger. He ends up getting hurt in 2019. Gio takes over. The rest is history. And now, kind of looking back on it, the Yankees have tried Andujar in multiple other positions just because they know his bat is still there, but he's obviously not going to be the starting third baseman anymore. So we've seen him at first. We've seen him in left. We've seen him DHing. But I think all of these moves kind of pose the question now. What is his future with the organization? Does he even have a future? Because maybe he does in left. I don't think he does at first. What do you think?
His only future with this team is in left field. That's the only possible future because Gio is at third base, Luke is at first, and we have a DH in Giancarlo Stanton. So coming into the season, we're probably thinking Miguel Andujar is not even going to touch the Bronx this season. But with Clint Frazier, struggling like he is, Hicks out, Brett Gardner, he's not going to be your everyday left fielder. We don't want that. So he has a chance right now. If he hits and he plays modest defense, he has a chance to maybe not kick Clint out of left, but play himself into starting some days.
I mean, here's my thing though, because I get the argument, right? And you can make an argument that if Andujar plays out of his mind, he could earn that starting left field spot. But it's a few things. He hasn't really made the most of his opportunity thus far. And I feel like if he wanted to kind of take over as a starting left fielder, he would have had to have already started to prove it. And through like his first 10 games or so, he hasn't been doing that good. We haven't really seen like vintage Andujar. He's had a handful of hits, no extra base hits, as recent as before Thursday's game. So I don't know. And also his defense out there is a liability. We really haven't seen any misplays from him so far after being called up. But it's bound to happen eventually. He's not a natural left fielder. He's not a good left fielder, especially comparing him to Clint, right? I would say Clint is an above average defender in the outfield. So I think if anything, the Yankees probably keep Clint out there just for his defense compared to Andujar.
Yeah, I don't think it's a likely situation for him to kick Clint out. Like, I think it's going to have to take Clint dropping his average to it's already
Below
low.
100 probably.
That's what I'm saying, like around 110, 120. Like, it's going to take something like that and Andujar hitting 300. Because at some point, they're going to have to sacrifice the defense a little bit and say, we need production.
Fair.
So it's not likely, but, in a month or so, this could be a completely different conversation. We could be saying, wow, Andujar really just kicked Clint out of left.
I'm going to be honest with you, Sean. Our whole idea today is what's Andujar's future with the Yankees? I'm going to just say this and be honest. I don't think he has one. I genuinely don't think he has one.
I think he has a bright future.
Not with the Yankees, though.
But I don't think it's going to be with the Yankees because a team can give him a shot at third, left, and if that doesn't work, there's 14 other teams that can use a DH.
Bro, it's like one of those really corny breakups in a TV show or a movie. It's like, I know you're going to do great in life.
Yeah.
Just not with me. And that's kind of what it is with Andujar.
That's how it is with a lot of Yankees, to be honest. I mean, we could be having the same conversation about Clint. Somewhere else, he has a bright future, but it's just not with the Yankees.
Gary. Bro, there's so many guys. So many guys. But I think kind of going back to Andujar, I think the main downfall of him, I don't think the injury was his biggest downfall. I really don't. I think it's his lack of defense. I think that's kind of the key because he was a liability in 2018 defensively. And we kind of saw the Yankees acknowledge that in the playoffs when they would have to take him out of the game every single night late in the game for Adeiny Echeverria. But his bat kind of made up for it. And when your bat isn't at a ridiculous level, as it was in 2018, when he batted 300 with almost 30 bombs, your defense matters even more, right? Because
Yeah.
it's one of those things where if you're not going to contribute with the bat, at least contribute with your glove, and he doesn't do either. Well, he hasn't done either in a while.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like his bat saved him in 2018. It's like he was so good at the plate that like his defense, we could be like, oh, we could live with it. It's fine. But now that we see Gio and he does both, he has no shot of ever playing third base consistently for the Yankees. And if he
No,
doesn't get, I think that if he stays up here and he gets regular playing time, the bat will come back. I mean, we saw him in AAA. He was raking down in AAA, wasn't he?
he
If he's playing
was.
every single day, his bat will come back. But I just don't know if the Yankees want to do that because that means you're not playing Clinton every day. And he's never going to get into a groove. So one of these guys is going to have to win the job and the other one's going to have to get traded.
I think it also all depends on whether or not Aaron Hicks is going to miss significant time this season.
True.
I think that depends heavily. But let me ask you a question then. Right now, if you had to go with one left fielder, one stays up, one goes down. Are you picking Clint or Andujar?
I'm picking Clinton.
So am I. And I think that just kind of goes to show Clint has been so bad, but I think at the end of the day, we still view him on a much higher level than Miguel Andujar. I genuinely think so.
I do too, and it's still quite early. It's May, but he's been struggling and struggling since the first like Toronto series. Like in that Toronto series, he was like our best hitter. We're like, wow, Clint's gonna have a huge year. Just fell off the face of the earth after that. So I really, really want to come back to this conversation in like 2 months.
Yeah.
I really,
No,
really do. I want to see like what we said and like what panned out because I think it's gonna be really interesting because they need an answer, man. You can't go into September, October with a question mark and like three different positions like they have now. They need to figure it out.
yeah, and listen, that's kind of my thing. Now I hope Andujar proves me wrong, right? But I think the best case scenario for him in the near future is the Yankees send him down to AAA. He works on his defense down there and kind of just becomes decent at three positions. He becomes decent in left, first, and third, hits very well, and then the Yankees are able to use him as trade bait. Because any team would kind of value a versatile right-handed hitter who could hit for contact. So I think at this point, if he's not producing and if he's not going to be getting every day at bats at the major league level, the Yankees need him in AAA just so he could probably like boost his trade value at this point, right? So maybe you could get something for Andujar at the deadline.
I think that's his future with the Yankees is go be really good again in AAA so we can go trade you at the deadline for someone. That's his future with the Yankees right now.
It's sad to say, especially after 2018, we
I
all
know.
loved Miggy Two
Yes.
Bags, but
Yeah.
now it's like I
We
don't
don't
really see
need
it.
him. We don't need him because it's we just wish Clint like just took that left field job and ran with it so we never had to have this kind of conversation because we don't
Yep.
want to just say, "Oh, let's try Andujar." Like no, we need like a solidified starter. I feel like we said it like a million times like someone needs to take the job.
It's going to be interesting, but that is going to wrap things up for today. Hopefully, Andujar could pick things up. Hopefully, he could find success wherever he is. But with that being said, everyone be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more. You guys know the deal. Going live before and after every single Yankees game this season, so stay tuned for that content. But stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. Peace.